Day, everyone. Owenazuris here, and this week on Dine and Roguelikes, we are looking at Siralim 3, the third game in the Siralim series. As you can see, I'm recording this actually kind of earlier because I'm going to have a kind of an earlier play. I'm only 7 hours into the game as I'm recording it right now, and then hopefully after broadcasting this video in a week later, I'll be a lot farther into the game. So the game isn't really too much focused on storyline, so you're not going to really be spoiling too much. Really the only thing you're going to be seeing is like a couple extra things in the castle that I'll show you here in a moment that you can get. But if you are going to play this game and you don't want to see any potential spoilers of various things you can unlock, well, then I guess now would be the time to quit watching. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue here and character Owenazuris. He's level 16, sorcery mage. Actually recorded a video earlier of this, which I'll probably post in the future, where I'm a couple of hours less into the game. The sound quality on it, you can still hear me talking, but the music was kind of loud, and I've turned it down, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. So this is the third game in the Siralim series, and I'm really getting into this one. The first two, I kind of thought didn't seem to be super well balanced, but this one, it's more balanced. Now I have started running into enemies that I consider kind of cheap. They go and get lots of attacks before I even get a chance to attack, kill half my party. So there is that to be aware of. It's still present in the game, but it doesn't seem to be as bad. So what is this game? It is a roguelike, or at least it uses procedural generation to generate various floors of the dungeons that you go into. There's no real permadeath, but if you die in a dungeon, you've got some items that you haven't obtained permanently. Basically, you'll lose all the items you found on that particular dungeon run. This is a monster kind of raising game. If I go up here, I can see you can go during battles and get cores from monsters. It takes a turn, and so far I've always got a 100% chance of obtaining a core from a particular monster. Then you take that core back here and you can go and summon the monsters that you have fought in battle. They all start at level 1 so far. Hopefully that changes later on, because it'll take a while to level up these characters. Some people I've seen in reviews compare this to Pokemon, which I guess if that's the only monster raising game you have ever played, I guess that's a valid comparison, but it's really more closely akin to things like Dragon Quest Monsters, games like that where you have random dungeons and you're really raising the monsters that you find. There doesn't seem to be as much emphasis on, like if you have a life monster versus a death monster, things like that that you'd normally find in Pokemon, where elemental things really come into play. This game boasts of having an infinite amount of content, which really the way they achieve that is there's just so many different systems in the game, so many things to do, plus I don't know if there's any particular cap on how far creatures and monsters can level. Like here is a monster I started with, and you can see his stats here. But if I go to, first off, if I go to traits, you'll see each of these creatures has a different trait. Like this guy here, whenever someone manually casts a spell, he's going to randomly cast a spell of the same class that as a spell that was cast, and that is really beneficial. Each monster has really cool traits. Like this one here, the less mana he has, the more damage he does. This guy, I'm not a big fan of him personally as a monster, but he gives all my monsters a shell burst attack, which lowers their defense, and then, after lowering their defense, does damage based on how much he lowered their defense, which is pretty cool. This guy here, all creatures deal 50% more damage. That's nice. After his creature attacks, it deals 80% of damage dealt to 2 other random enemy creatures. And this guy here, creature attack deals 5% more damage for every 1% of health the target is missing. He's the newest creature I put in here. And then, in addition to that, each of your creatures gets an artifact that you can equip, and over the course of the game, once you find a blacksmith, you can go, you see it says 6 of 6 slots used, so you can go and add stats until you use all the slots in a particular artifact. Now, where you see most of the stuff in this game deals with percentages, and that's kind of why on things like this you can keep probably getting better and better items and weapons or stats on things, because it's all based on percentages. So I got attack 22%. In the future, maybe it'll go up to 30%. Then each of your monster can also equip 3 spell gems. And each spell gem has its main thing that it does. Like this one gives my creatures ward for 5 turns. But then you see properties. So it also, after casting it, I have a 60% chance to attack. So there are lots of different spells. I think there's like 300 base spells, but then you add the properties on top of that, and you have lots of different spells that you're going to be finding in this game. So basically, this game is a min-maxer's dream come true. People that are looking to go and try to figure out the best way of maximizing their parties, this is a game for you. Plus, there are lots of monsters. Graphically, it's probably not the greatest of graphics. It looks like an old Nintendo game, which I'm perfectly good with because I liked old Nintendo games. But if you are a graphical purist, and not purist, but if you're a graphical, I don't want to say a bad term, but if you really enjoy graphics, this probably isn't the game for you. Music's good, and then there's just lots of stuff to do. If I go down here to end game, you'll see some of the stuff you can do at end game, which I haven't even gotten close to reaching yet. You can find Nemesis creatures, which are more powerful versions of creatures. And let's see, you got the Arena, which lets you draft a team of creatures and then fight against waves. Basically a horde wave mode. Tavern Brawls levels all your creatures to 100 and then lets you fight them against other players' teams that are online. And if you win, well, your creatures will be made available to fight. You can assign macros to kind of affect what your creatures do. And the cool thing here is, I haven't got to this mode yet, but just talking to other people, they say there's no real set creatures that are dominating right now. And to me, that kind of indicates that, well, the game, it's been out for quite a few months, but that there is no singular best party. That people are constantly achieving stuff. So what do you do when you play a game? You are trying to restore your kingdom. Looks like the kingdom from the second game, I think, is kind of been corrupted and is coming after you. So usually if I go to Teleport Realm here, this is the little place, let me go back, where you teleport to different realms. And these are the procedurally generated dungeons. So usually each one has 3 different levels. And so if I go, let's say, to here, if I went to the Refuge of the Magi, it's ruled by Zonet, the god of wisdom. So typically you have to re-establish connections or links to all these gods. So in the first realm, you are going and doing that. So if I went to 4, the first time I went there, I had to re-establish a connection with this god. And then level 5, you're usually doing a random quest for the god. And then level 6 is usually you fighting a particular boss of that realm. Then afterwards, just go into these realms. You can teleport out once you've completed a random quest. So right now, maximum I go is 16. So if I go to, I want to do that. Let's see, the highest level creature in your party is 16, which is more than the enemies you'll encounter in this realm. Yeah, so if I dive down too far, I'm not going to get as much stuff. This is the highest realm, so you'll receive an emblem. Okay. But I don't want to do that, because I want to kind of show off the combat and things like that. Excuse me. So, let's go to the swamps. Swampland, ruled by Murex, the god of bliss. So, see at the bottom right, I've got an ancient studies. I have to find 2 slates. Enemies you see, and you fight them. It's very similar to Dragon Quest again. Let's see, I've got a pulse bat here. So my Thrasher Fiend he attacks and he's going to do 80% damage to other random targets. Darn it. If I do extract, I will get a particular core, so I don't have a core from this guy yet. I think I already have one of him, but I'm still going to go and get that core. And go ahead and attack. Let's go ahead and cast. Let's see. So that's that shell burst attack I was talking about. Which, really, that Imp Hexer, that shell burst, I don't like the Imp Hexer as far as his stats, but that shell burst, giving it to every single one of my characters and having it so it's free to cast has saved me so many times playing this game. Because it just does an insane amount of damage, especially to bosses. So, if you're having an issue with the game, I recommend putting him in your party. So here's the place I need to go to get out, but I still have to finish this random quest. Let's see, now I've become honored by them. Little by little, you restore your people's hopes for Rodea. Do not let them down. Try not to. Oh, and I just got an achievement. If you like achievements, this game also is going to be your dream come true, because there are over 1,000 achievements currently in this game on Steam. That's a lot of achievements. Just weaken the enemies. So lots min-and-maxing of your party. It kind of reminds me almost of something like Disgaea in that regards. And let's see. Flash freeze. See, there's my guy randomly casting spells after another one of my guy cast a spell. So like if I do Shell Burst here. Then he casts Meteor Shower, which is pretty cool. And the more you fight enemies, the more you learn about them. So right now, like this guy, I haven't been fighting them too much. If I had fought them, like, over time, you'll start gaining levels as you fight particular enemies on their stats. So you start off, I think, at F and then move to E, D on your knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more you can find out about this creature. So if I had unlocked the first level of knowledge, then I would, or second level of knowledge, I believe, I would actually see its hit points. We'll see that here in a moment. So you see some of these creatures, I can see their hit points and their magic points. It's because I've unlocked stuff. Extracting cores from them also will go and increase my knowledge about them. They recently patched it, so that used to you received more knowledge by doing that, and it led to people just constantly extracting cores. But now you actually gain more knowledge when you kill the enemies, so... Lightning Strike. Yeah, the graphics in this really do remind me kind of Dragon Quest III, which was a great game. Okay, I need to find another tablet now. And each realm also has different things going on in it. Like this is a portal that takes me to a boss. There's another realm, the God of Wisdom. You actually can go and find spell gems throughout the level, and once you get 5 of them, you make a full spell gem. So I guess you're finding spell gem fragments. A Might Interloper. So this guy wants to fight. I can't extract because it's a boss. Let's go and take these guys out. So, Flash Freeze. Mass Dispel, that's a random spell I'm casting. Now this guy, I like my Spell Breath attack. Usually does a lot of damage. Plus, after he casts Spell Breath and does eventually a lot of damage to enemies, he gets another spell. So it works for him too. And finish him off. So you can see I added my Skeleton Triggerman last because he's just level 7. So here are all the resources. There's like 5 different resources. As you gain them, I have a lot, but you can use them to craft new weapons, you can use them to summon monsters, you can also donate them to gods for favor. Those you don't lose when you die on a level, but... Here, I go to items and see pending, this is what I would lose if I died. So I'd lose a bow. I'm not too worried about that. This red amber. Let's see. So I have found some eggs. And then cards, I believe, let you have permanent increases of various stats. I can also go to my character and manage my perks. So I have 17 unspent points. Been working on my character's speed because I'm tired of enemies basically getting the drop on me and getting lots of attacks before I even get a chance to attack. And let's go ahead and increase, give me 1% more power per battle. Oh, here's a token. I can give these to the gods and get more stuff. Creatures are victorious. Good. So here's the god. I can donate 1,000 crystal. Gain some more favor with them. Gem of giant strength. Target gains a massive amount of attack. I like that. Let's see. Elf Huntsman. Love and other disasters. The enemy creature's effects that activate when they afflict a buff or debuff are ignored. Ooh, I like that. I might have to save up for him. Yeah. I want to get that monster. Let's see who we're fighting here. A Valkyrie Shield Maiden. It's another monster I don't have yet. And this isn't like a level boss. I've actually found it's kind of counterintuitive, because in a lot of these games, if I was fighting like a boss, like say this is a level boss, she's not, but still going to kind of pretend she is. But normally you would go and kill all their little minions and then kill the boss. But in this game, I actually find it more effective if I'm fighting the boss of a level to kill the boss first, because a lot of times they have crazy buffs or things they're doing that are really making all their other minions powerful. A lot of times without the boss, the enemies lose a lot of their power. Let's cast Shell Burst here. There she goes. So yeah, so that would be my tip if I had to give a tip for this. Is take out the boss in a lot of cases first. And also a lot of times the enemies are the same level as the boss, so that's just a good idea. And then if the enemies go and buff the boss, they might have even more crazy attacks, so just overall, a good idea. Until I find out otherwise. I'm getting a lot of treasure on this run. And I unlocked the Shield Maiden's lore. Let's see my character. Gods in favor. So Erebus, I'm still just respected. Alright, we're getting lots of stuff here. Another nice feature of this game is I'm playing the Steam version. Currently it's also out on PS4 and it is on the iPad. And the games, they have cloud save, so you can actually, like I can play it on my computer and then I can play it on my iPad, which is really nice. And I'm probably going to get killed here. No, I think I got this. So the only thing is you have to kind of upload your save to the cloud. So if I was playing on my PC and then I was at work and decided, hey, I'm going to go and play on my iPad, I have to know ahead of time that I'm going to do that. You have to upload it to the cloud, which is cool because that also means I can play this offline. I think you have to be connected to the internet for this. It's a perfect thing to play on a plane trip. You just have to remember ahead of time to switch your game from Steam to the iPad, and then when you're done on the iPad, put it back on the cloud and bring it back. I will also say, I said earlier there are 1,000 achievements in this. So the cool thing here is that there's a character in your castle that will sync up your achievements. So if I got a bunch of achievements when I was playing on, say, my PS4 or my iPad, well, I could go and sync up those achievements, which is good. I never like to lose achievements or run the risk of doing that. So nice touch. Also nice touch is your characters heal every time you finish a battle, so you don't have to worry about managing hit points and things like that. Otherwise, this game would be a lot harder. Okay, breeding continuum. So later on, you're going to get the ability to combine monsters or breed them. And so if I combine these two, I'll get a troll arsonist. You can see right now that's page 2,695. That is a lot of pages in this compendium. So now I've gone and achieved my quest, so I can actually leave. And that's what I am going to do, because I've been playing 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and talk to this guy. Anything I can extract. Some more from this pulse bat. And I just ranked up so I can view the Might Interloper's health in battle. Same with Thunder Salamander. And then the other one, ooh, I'm now resourceful. I can change my title when I get back to camp. The other one is now, I take 15% less from those Emerald Paragons, which is nice. A nice thing to kind of reward you for constantly learning about your opponents. Let's see, I have 0 perk points. So let's go back to next. And let's see if I can change my title here. Change my title. I can be Easter Bunny and become Owenazuris Resourceful. And also, another character I unlocked is you can find cloth, and then I can be an Easter Bunny. I found that costume. And let's see, I have 1 cloth scrap, so I can look at all the different characters I can become. That is a lot of different costumes I can have. So as I said, I've been playing for about 22 minutes. I'm going to put up. That is kind of me about 7-8 hours into the game. It says 9, but I've left the game running a little. And so next time, in a week, I'm going to hopefully have some progress where I'm even further in the game. Hopefully have unlocked some new stuff, new features we can look at. Hopefully we can look at breeding. But overall, I highly recommend this game. I would say that if you buy it on iPad and on Steam, you have to pay for each version of the game, which kind of makes sense. It's about $5 right now on iPad, and it's about $15 on Steam. It's the exact same game, but I mean it's priced because if you sold a game for $15 on the iPad, it probably wouldn't sell that well. But at $5, it's a steal. And then on Steam, it's definitely worth the $15. As I said, I wasn't as big a fan of Siralim 2 and 1. I've played them. I just thought they got really kind of cheap and repetitive, but for some reason this game seems to have kind of streamlined a lot of that stuff. It made extracting cores easier, it made summoning monsters easier. I haven't encountered as much cheapness in the bosses. In Siralim 2, the bosses were real cheap. You almost had to go and make a party specifically to fight each boss. Mainly because each boss seemed to have kind of a different gimmick. You were kind of trying to fight against that. But this game, the bosses seem a lot less gimmicky and just more kind of like a boss battle should be. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Remember, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.